Challenger motor we just got in. We want to show you some of the differences. They've made a lot of changes in '09. One of the things is they went to a smaller alternator, and notice that they changed the balancer on it. It's got a different water pump pulley. They've changed the power steering pump, so there's been some changes that don't have a self-contained reservoir on it no more. So there's been some changes. Of course, the intake has a lot, looks like an LS1 intake, but notice how it's taller. This motor is rated at 375 horse, and if you notice on the back, since the '09 Challenger, you can get it with a 6-speed. It's got the dual diaphragm clutch on it. A real heavy clutch uses the same type of clutch that's used like on a LS9 or the new Camaro 2010 with the LS3 with a 6-speed has a clutch very similar to this here. So there's a lot of differences. They've changed the shape of the exhaust manifolds and went to a cast iron manifold on this with some heat chambers, but this motor is rated at 375 horse. The fuel line, they've changed the fuel rail some. Of course, it has the pins here for adding the top covers, and of course your oil fill here and your PCV hose, but it's basically the same motor as in the past. You can see they've changed a few things, but this does have variable cam timing also, which we're going to be able to work with. We're working on the '09 stuff right now. This is a Challenger that's come in Mike Concrete, and it's getting a 6.1 in it. This is one of our next projects. We want to go next door. We just got an '09 truck motor in, and I'm really excited about the truck motors because they're way up in horsepower. Let's go next door and we'll show you. Okay, this is one of the new 5.7 truck motors, and this is going to be a pleasure for a lot of guys to put in their earlier pickups. It does come with a top cover just like that. Notice it has an intake more like the Challenger. It's a little taller intake, but it's going to make more. This engine actually makes 390 horse now. So this is going to be a real bear. So with headers and programming, but notice for the guys that's really close to the radiator, these come out and the throttle body turns straight up. So this is going to make it a lot easier in a lot of applications, even putting it in street rods. Of course, they come with a mechanical fan which can come off, but notice now that the alternator, the power steering, Larry took the power steering off because he's changing over to a GM pump because this is going in a Jeep, and the compressor, everything's on one side now. And so they're back to where the top outlet and the suction side's on the bottom side, and here's your heater connections where the older ones had at a different location. And the small one here's the pressure to the heater, and the bigger one here on the suction side of the pump's the return. So there's going to be some neat things with this motor. It's got the 6.1 style heads on it in '09, just like that 5.7 you've seen that was next door that's out of the new Challenger. It has 6.1 heads on it. That's one of the reasons they're making the horsepower. So this will be a real neat application, especially if you want to do an automatic. Larry's putting the flex plate on the back now because this one's going to get a different transmission, I think a 518 behind it since it's going in an '89 Jeep. But some of these exhaust manifolds are really uptight, so in places where you're close quarters and everything, some of these exhaust manifolds, the only one on the right might be a problem because it comes straight out the back. But as that goes along, notice here's the Challenger that another one we just got done with a 6.1 and everything. They kind of did the flames on the covers and everything. It really looks good. Okay, we'll follow up and start with another one of our transplants, the 66 Satellite, that really worked out good. They brought us a truck motor. It's an '04 truck motor. See, it still had the aluminum valve covers. You see how we plated the valve covers. We used the box here for our throttle cable, where we use the pedal positioning switch. You can see the low car cable going to the throttle pedal. Then this is the Abbott box, because this is a manual speedometer. Abbott, if you call us, we give you the name. They make a box that picks up the speed sensor and runs the mechanical speedometer cable, and it goes to the mechanical speedometer. So with this conversion, they were able to stay with their main original dash and everything, keep it looking all original. This car really looks good. It looks basically all original except for a little pinstripe down the side. And notice the heater duct, we're just waiting on putting the original heater in it. and hooking up the AC. Larry just lacks that, but you can see with the truck motor, with the compressor on the driver's side and the alternator, it all still worked real good and made a neat package and still fit under the hood. But while you're at it, let's give you a good surprise what we got right behind us here. This is the new HEMI 6.1 with a new Magnuson blower. They finally have got it out. This is the first one we're doing. We're doing it for Garrett's Rod Shop out of Columbus. They're putting this, I think, in a 72 Challenger. Still drive by wire. Notice how we did the air duct and everything. And they offer this in black or chrome, or they'll do a special version for us where we can polish it if you want to polish for your show Hemi. So this makes a real neat swap, and it looks real similar. This is a 09 Challenger 5.7 motor. Now your 09 Challenger 5.7s have variable cam timing, but one runs 6.1 heads on it, and they have an intake in plastic similar to the 6.1s. So you notice that with these, they're going to get more power. They're rated at 375 horse. I forget what the torque is, but it's up there real good. So they're going to make good performance motors, especially with a cam change. They'll be 400 or better, and good headers. So we're in the midst of working on the programming of the computer, and now we've just got all the stuff done where I think we make the 300Cs and the NAG 1s, and the 6.1s run with a NAG 1 tranny. So that's one we've got on stand now. We're ready to run, so we're just right there at programming them. But we thought you'd like to see this 6.1 Hemi with a new Magnuson blower on it. It ought to add 130 horse to the 425 horse the motor's already rated at. A whole bunch of new stuff coming. Keep tuned.